I mean, it's a lot of fun. Now, like I said, if you're looking for something more original, you're not getting it because they're playing it very safe with this. You know, this still feels like reheated jokes and situations that may taste good here and there, but it was better when it was fresh, all right? But I will tell you the reason why this works for me. The reason why is because there are moments where this really works because Eddie Murphy has scenes where he's a really good actor, man. Martin, did you see Axel F?
I did.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about that then. So I'll start out this review. Before we get into Axel F, the latest Beverly Hills Cop movie, we need to talk about the original over here. Because you see, Beverly Hills Cop 1, the original, in a way, it's my opinion right here, but I do believe that it is truly lightning in a bottle.
You know, this is the cleanest and nicest police car I've ever been in my life. Look, all three of us are cops. We should be working together.
So that's where it all started, people. And I say that was lightning in a bottle because with Beverly Hills Cop 1, man, I would like to see what you think about this. I think everything hit at the right time and it cannot be repeated. You know, Eddie Murphy had done some other movies before. Beverly Hills Cop, I think, is his fourth movie, I believe. Now, because before he had that, he had I believe his first movie was 48 Hours.
Yeah.
And then you got Trading Places right there. I don't know when that was, I don't know if that was before or after Best Defense, but that don't even count because that was just a cameo.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
Yeah, they tried to sell it on his popularity. They tried to actually fool people. They lied to people with that poster right there.
There's another movie, I can't remember it, with Richard Pryor where they had him all over the poster and he just makes a cameo.
Yeah,
I think it might have been Holy Moses.
So they just lying to people, man. They put that, he's almost bigger than Dudley Moore right there.
Right.
At that time, though, he was really big when he came out with Delirious. When Delirious came out, his stand-up special that was on HBO, he was riding high off the success of that. And that's when they put him in Beverly Hills Cop. And Beverly Hills Cop really was kind of the first movie that he carried on his own. You know, it was Eddie Unleashed.
Yeah.
It allowed him to use his comedy to bring something special to the buddy cop action genre right there. And, you know, you had Beverly Hills Cop 2 that was also very successful, hugely successful. And it's fun to watch in some parts, man. And people remember it fondly, but really, really, if you watch it, man, because I watched it not too long ago because I was with my cousin in London. He put it on. Yeah. I was like, man, you know, this movie just does not compare to the first one. And a lot of people say, well, hey, man, you're talking about Beverly Hills Cop 2. It wasn't as good as the first. Hey, man, come on. At least it wasn't this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous surprise for Mr. Duval to have me standing right next to him right now. You know, right now I can feel his body tingling.
Boy, that was the one where people said, well, look, man, the good side with this, or the good thing about this is that we can't go nowhere but up. Because if we go any lower, that's going to be terrible. The people say this is why we have to have another Beverly Hills Cop, man.
Yeah, it can't end like this.
No, it cannot end like this, man. This is like somebody came to your house and took a shit on your floor and then left. And you'd be like, no, man, you better come back and clean this shit up.
I don't want you over my house again, but you got to clean this up.
But you got to clean this up right here, man. And Eddie Murphy has taken a lot of shits in our house. but this one, Beverly Hills Cop is so great. It's like, man, you can't leave us like this.
Yeah.
You cannot do this, sir. So a lot of people are saying that's why we had to have another one. And that's why a lot of people are happy to have Netflix bringing us Beverly Hills Cop. It's not even 4 on here. It's Axel Foley. If I had my choice, I told Martin this earlier, I would have called, no, it's called Axel F.
Yeah.
See, I would have called it Axel Foley because I would have put that 4 for the F right there.
Sure.
Called it Axel Foley.
It's not really my name.
Did Eddie Murphy come in and clean that shit up and actually leave us with something better? As I say, man, I would love to think that we can't go anywhere but up after Beverly Hills Cop 3. He even admitted that, hey, we learned a lot from our mistakes in that last movie. Did you?
So much that they didn't go back to it for how many decades?
Yeah, when was that? Almost 30 years, right? Yeah. It took them 30 years to figure out how to get this right again. It's a long time.
30 years to even try it again.
Yeah, they were scared to come out there and make another one. Did they do it? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
You know, this is very embarrassing.
You know, part of me rather get locked up than get put in this little Fisher-Price looking squad car.
Y'all are the Lego cops.
You can say, hey, good sign. We're laughing at the trailer, man.
Yeah.
In some ways, it is a return to form for Eddie Murphy.
Y'all safe? Everybody safe?
There's no seatbelt in the middle.
The hell with the seatbelt? We're on the edge.
On Netflix, boy, times have changed. Netflix wasn't even a twinkle in daddy's eye at the time. So, you know, listen, I'm not going to come in and dare even expect this to live up to the first. I remember watching Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know what it was like for you, a little bit older than me, but I remember I was like 11 or 12 years old. I would have seen that movie about 4 times in the theater.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was very rewatchable.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about the other movies. I'll tell you about the last movie was terrible. Now we got this one. So, you know, where does this fall in, especially compared to the first movie? I was thinking about this and I was saying, you know what? I look at this movie, I compare it to the lead singer of a band that's getting everyone back together, man. Mm-hmm. And they're doing it for one big reunion show. Now, keep in mind, they haven't put an album out in 30 years, all right? So that means they ain't gonna play no new shit.
Right.
They ain't got no new shit to play.
Right.
They're gonna play all the old shit that everybody likes.
Yeah.
And when they walk out on stage, you're gonna be like, God damn, they got old. But it's gonna be cool because all the original guys are there, and it's just cool to see them all together. And you know, and that's kind of what you get right here. You get this feeling of, man, you know, maybe this isn't living up to the first movie. What can? But you know, there are moments when it's cool to see all these guys get together again, especially Taggart and Billy, Judge Reinhold and John Ashton. You know, they even repeating scenes where they got them in the car together.
Right.
Axel's in the back seat, sneaking in, talking shit like he usually does.
There's nothing but a bunch of old, sick people. Everybody's hacking and coughing and moaning and groaning. You would fit in perfect up here, Taggart.
You know, the same chemistry is there with these folks, you know, so that's kind of cool. And I tell you what, if they do play something new, going back to the band analogy right here, if they do play something new, it's still going to be a cover of someone else's old shit, you know? So,
yeah. And they're good about playing their old hits. They ain't doing nothing flashy with it. And they got a few new young members of the band just kind of backing them up. And they ain't really all that good, but they're young.
Yeah.
But the guy who put them back together, the lead singer, man, he's still got it.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I said lead singer, because you got to say Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy's the one bringing them back in. And, you know, depending on how much you want to like this movie, it depends on how much you really like those old hits. You know, them doing the same thing again, because
it's a big trip down nostalgia lane.
It sure is, boy. And that shit, nostalgia lane, boy, that's a whole 10 city blocks you going down, man. You're gonna be a while. That's nostalgia mile, right?
It's like there's a nostalgia amusement park.
Yeah.
And you get an all-day ticket and you just to ride all the old rides you remember from your childhood.
That's it, man. You know, because ain't nothing really here that's, I won't even say it's not a bad plot. It's just a plot that don't really mean much.
Dude, it's a plot that is left over from 1983.
Oh man, that's Axel Foley. He does what he does. Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley. He goes back to Beverly Hills again so that he can go there to fight another bad guy. Don't worry about who or why. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. It matters so little that what would have been a twist in another movie, they get that shit out the way in 15 minutes here.
The twist is revealed in the casting.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna say nothing, but 15 minutes into the movie, they say, it's him.
Yeah.
And you already kind of knew.
Yeah. No, they go like, oh yeah, we have this actor in here. And once he walks in, you go like, oh, there's the villain.
I mean, the way he gets up and looks, he's trying to give it away. He looks villainous as hell. Everything about him says villain. He could have been in damn Despicable Me 4.
Everything except twirling a mustache and eating an apple.
Yeah. We just need a villain and something for Axel Foley for him to come back and do what he does.
Yeah.
You know, crack his way into places, doing it with them Eddie Murphy mannerisms like that.
Yeah.
You know, he always walks in somewhere. Excuse me, I can use some information real quick.
Right. Sometimes he's effeminate. Sometimes he's loud and black. You know, he switches it up every so often.
Sometimes he gay Eddie Murphy, and then sometimes he's jockey.
Yeah.
What you mean, gay fellow helicopter?
And in between that, he's tearing up the city.
Tearing up the city, boy. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Or he keeps running into old characters for help. When I say he got everybody back together, he got everybody back together.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Beverly Hills. Make yourself at home in my Gracio's property.
Surge. Surge was such a popular character. They're like, you damn right he's coming back. They even made a whole marketing featurette about him.
I didn't know they did that. But even all those other movies, they would just find any excuse to plug Surge in there.
They should. No pun intended, but yeah, Surge was what's the actor's name?
Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot, yeah. Which, you know, he's a funny character. I'm glad they have him back.
You know, I liked him.
Oh, and Martin was right, boy. You know, so in this, let me see here. Let me move this up here. So we know that he's still that same rascally Foley because about every 10 minutes, someone talking about Foley or goddamn Foley, you know, because he does a lot of stuff that should have got him fired.
Oh, sure.
He should have been fired years ago.
Yes.
A long time ago. He tears up this city more than any criminal ever has.
Uh-huh.
If you walked out and see your car destroyed, he did it.
Right. Yeah. Especially considering the big opening set piece. Like, your destruction is 1,000 times more than what got stolen.
It
honestly, I mean, I guess, you know, back in the day, back in the 80s and all, we were all about the cops doing whatever they had to do.
Yeah.
And in a much more enlightened time, it's like, man, you ain't supposed to be chasing people for stuff like that.
That's the thing, man. He steals a lot of stuff and just crashes them. Mm-hmm. Crashes them into anything, but mainly cars. Like, you know, and what I love about this is one of those movies where, wow, it's just fortunate that no one was in that car. Mm-hmm. Or he hit them at the right angle that was never head on or from the side that would kill them.
Right.
Axel, if you damage any city property.
Oh, you mean all the property?
In a snowplow?
Yeah, we in a damn snowplow. What's the problem?
The problem is you tear up the goddamn city. And he does it. The trailer ain't showing this, but he does it to the same music that he did back in the day from Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Right.
But sometimes they'll do a remix.
Yeah. They do a lot of remixes, but you know it's there. But it's almost like he would drive safely, but if that goddamn music wouldn't play, it sets him off.
Yeah.
It's like Popeye eating his spinach.
Yeah. They'll do a remix of the Neutron Dance or something, you know. But you know what? He has variety because he steals cars. He'll steal a truck. Of course, he'll crash it into things, you know, other policemen and the houses and everything. Your mansion. But also, he steals golf carts, meter-made carts.
He's big on stealing carts.
I'm surprised he can steal a grocery cart, ride that shit.
Uh-huh.
And there's always, you know, the excuse is, well, I was running away from the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And the bad guys stopped 5 blocks back. They saw you tearing up shit. But, you know, I'll tell you, this is the first time, though. This is the first time he stole a helicopter.
Men are trying to kill us, Bobby, and you're a helicopter pilot. And I'm pretty sure that's a fucking helicopter. Shall we?
He got lucky there was a helicopter up there.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know. He acted like he knew, but he didn't know there would be no helicopter there. That's the kind of writing we have here, by the way.
Yeah. And a helicopter that's unlocked that anybody can get in and start flying.
There's keys in there. Yeah. Hey, just get on in. Like they hotwire a car.
Like that they could even get roof access is unbelievable.
You know, looking at this, you can see he's also teamed up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt because we need to bring in some younger blood. I'll tell you, Judge Reinhold, you know, some of these older guys, they just have them come in pretty much as cameos or they, this is an obligation because we have to have everybody back. Judge Reinhold comes in for about 2 minutes from the beginning and just says, I'm out. He's gone.
Right. They take him off the board. And honestly, his character should have been dead, but they keep him around, but just not where you see him.
That was the most unbelievable thing. I'm glad you said that because what happened to him, they should have killed him on the spot. But we need the gang back together. We need Taggart. We need Billy. So we can't kill him.
Right. I mean, I wonder if they came to Judge Reinhold and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down for it, but I'm not running around and doing shit."
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Because if he would have been there, committed that much, he would have had more to do. Because they gave Taggart a lot to do. In here, but the new stuff in here. Now, this is going back to the analogy of the band playing all the old hits. Anything that they play new is still somebody else's old shit. And the reason why I say that is because. So Foley is working on a case, and he just happens to be working on a case with his daughter because his daughter is trying to protect this guy that got framed by crooked cops. So now her life is in danger, so he wants to come back and crack the case again. It just so happens that his daughter lives in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, sure.
So, hey, I guess I gotta go back again. But yeah, his daughter's played by Taylor Page right here, as you can see. Very beautiful girl here. You've seen him before. But with their plot line, really, they just do the whole bickering thing. The estranged kid. And you know how these estranged kid characters are. It's like, they do the whole thing. You left me. You didn't try to be my dad until they reach that point where, I can't be mad at you. You broke me down.
Yeah, that whole argument was the dumbest shit.
Girl, you 30-something years old.
Yeah, you 30-something years old. Oh, daddy, you supposed to be my daddy.
Yeah, shut the hell up with this.
I'm not talking to you. Oh, my
God. Listen, as you can tell, I myself... would I like a better written script? Yes, I would, because some of this is fun. Some of this is a lot of fun. Now, like I said, if you're looking for something more original, you're not getting it because they're playing it very safe with this. This still feels like reheated jokes and situations that may taste good here and there, but it was better when it was fresh. All right, but I will tell you the reason why this works for me. The reason why is because there are moments where this really works because Eddie Murphy has scenes where he's a really good actor, man. I hated that Mr. Church had to be the movie that he showed some of his best acting in because that movie's just not that great. It's that old magical movie right there. But, here, what sets, if this movie has its own tone that sets it apart from the first one, and even the second one, and definitely the third one, is that, there's this feeling of maturity here with Eddie Murphy, man. Eddie tones it down. He's doing those Eddie Murphyisms and Foleyisms, but he's toned it down here, man, which makes for good chemistry with everyone, especially what I think with Taylor Page. Her character is weak, but you can feel like his more mature charm is breaking her character down, and it's actually making those scenes really cool. I think that Eddie Murphy is actually now that he's pulled back a little bit, I think he's a really good actor in this.
Yeah, when you watch the first Beverly Hills Cop, he's pretty much Bugs Bunny.
How so?
Because, he's chaotic, he's getting in people's faces, and he's doing all this crazy shit, but he's getting away with it. He does everything but grab somebody and kiss them and then run off.
That is true, man.
He's got that same energy. But you're right, here it's more mature. And, what a lot of this movie, a lot of it's nostalgia. Most of it's nostalgia. And then I think one of the other problems is that, yes, you have to bring in new people, but they aren't, like, nobody's going to be at his caliber, but they aren't really that close. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's fine. But he doesn't, personality-wise, he doesn't bring a lot. Now, I know he's got to play straight man, but even in playing straight man, like when Judge Reinhold was straight man, he still brought something to it, a little bit of comedy, and you have that feeling like, I love this guy. And then Taylor Page, as much as I loved her and Zola and some other things, I think she's actually really bad in this movie. I mean, it's not just her character being written bad. I just watch her expressions. I was like, man, you just got nothing. It's like you don't even understand why you're here. Eddie Murphy is delightful here. And I haven't been able to say that in a long time. Like everybody's been waiting for that old Eddie Murphy to come back. And I was like, man, he's just been making so many bad movies and just not even been on that great in them. I haven't seen this spark in him in so many years, except for when he hosted Saturday Night Live a few years ago and here. And like, he was really into it. And even to that point of being mature, the more mature Axel Foley, even with doing his shtick, there's even a point where he starts to do it and he's just like, man, I'm tired. I can't keep doing this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that. I was like,
I know that they had a scene where he's like, I can't do this no more.
Yeah, I was like, that was real. So yeah, you know, if you don't like nostalgia or you're tired of it, no blame. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't blame you at all. And this could not be for you. However, if you're willing to go with it and just watch Eddie, it's a fun movie. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I did too. And listen, all the complaints that I had, it's definitely having an effect on my rating for this film and how I feel about it overall. But then there was some pretty, like I said, there were just some really great moments in here where Eddie Murphy's maturity made him pull back from being, as you said, that Bugs Bunny type character. And it led to some really great scenes, like between him and, there's a really good scene between him and Kevin Bacon that you wouldn't even see in the first two movies. Because, you know, when you had, and I will say this, I like this better than Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah.
Because Beverly Hills Cop 2 spent so much of his time trying to be one.
Yeah.
This one accepts Eddie Murphy and thus this character for being in this phase of their life. And the movie adjusts to that.
It did.
It feels separate from the other two.
And it adjusted to his maturity, but it also didn't spend the whole movie going like, you're old.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. Exactly, man. Yeah, you know, now listen, you made a point here that since you have this maturity right here, you know, you don't get those great scenes that they had. This is one of the things that made Beverly Hills Cop 1 so great, man. Sometimes Eddie Murphy was such a great talent at the time, and that was the first movie where he really did lead the movie on his own. That sometimes he went and talked shit to the wrong person. You didn't know what was going to happen because you thought like, oh man, he's going to wisecrack his way through the whole movie. I love that scene when they're like, you ain't gonna do that shit here. And they threw, let me turn. And they threw it. Hey, you know the character is so mature now. They don't do anything like that anymore. You know, that's one of the scenes I love.
Yeah, he would have broke his hip.
Yeah. I tell you what I love about this, man, is that Eddie Murphy was he was so confident and such a wisecracker and he was such a smart ass. He always had something smart ass to say. Every time somebody said something, he had to do something. And this is the one scene where he couldn't say shit. Hey! He didn't know what to say. Hey! But man, yeah, this is, like I said, I think out of all the movies, I think that I definitely like this one. This is my second favorite. Yeah, this is my second favorite, man. Yeah, I like this enough I would probably go on the lower end of a matinee, but I did like it. I did enjoy it. I'll give it a low matinee. I liked it a lot. Well, I say a lot, but I liked it, enough to say that if I had seen this in the theater, I'd be like, if I saw this in the theater, I'd be like, if I had paid full price, I would have been like, man, I wouldn't pay full price for this. But, let's just say this. It has money because of how many cars they crash, you can tell.
Right.
But it still does feel like a Netflix movie.
That's what I was going to say, because I would come in more of a high rental. And even though I enjoyed this, it is shot too much like a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Like the things you pay for, the real cinematography you get from a movie that feels like a movie is missing here. It doesn't have the same gravitas.
Yeah.
But, for a Netflix movie and for something that's not coming to America too, it works.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So low matinee, high rental over here.
Yeah.
That's a recommendation. That's it's worth watching.
Netflix is where you're gonna see it. So
yeah, exactly. So you ain't got nothing to lose. You already got Netflix. Just watch it. Man, shut up and just watch the movie, man. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.